weekend at the Mountain Sanctuary Park, that's in the Magaliesberge, has become one of the standards. This is what we did in January. Setting up camp was done on Friday afternoon. Jenny and Janine were very successful in setting up the tent that was lent to them. The main event for the weekend was the walk through Donkwane Gorge. We tackled it from the bottom. The first section we had to battle through dense and sometimes head-high vegetation. That was up to the first water trap. Here some people still try to keep their boots dry by climbing along the wall. Most of us thought, what's the point? We know that this is a wet hike, and there's no way around getting our feet wet. Climbing over many obstacles, and after going past Cedar Gorge, we got to the big pool, Help Pool. The water was fairly cool. This didn't deter us, and in we went for a swim, with some of the younger people climbing up to jump off the big rock. At this point, we had a split in the party. The younger ones climbed up the rock and followed the gorge to a place where they could get out and down back to the camp. Us, the oldies, went back to Cedar Gorge, up the gorge, which is a fair climb, and out at one point, following the route down, passing all these fantastic sandstone formations. The next day, that was Sunday, we went for a quick hike to the West Pools, and here I noticed that the ladder that takes one to the jumping place had been removed. Thus I could not get up to jump into the pool. Had some fun with Robert trying to throw his pack over, but that misfired and landed in the water. The cable car was not a hike. It was a social outing. We went to the cable car at the Hartbeespoort Dam. It has recently been revamped and modernized. And what we enjoyed most was the pensioners' discount. Took it up the mountain to enjoy the view over the dam from up there. Otherwise there was nothing to be done there except for a short stroll around the concrete bars. From the lunch table, where we had a pizza, we could observe the parachute gliders launching off and disappearing down the mountain. Also not a hike, but something exciting to do. Near Parys, on the other side of the river, is the Riverman. Graham is running river trips all over the country. This one in Parys is only for warm-up. We went down the river, 2 per boat, shooting some fast water and even some rapids. Very much enjoyed by all. Not far from Parys is a minor hike on the farm Rietpoort. And what is amazing about this hike, it's an honor system. Just put the money in the box. There was nobody around to check up on us. After a short stretch, we came to the dam. It was mostly empty. Frans and I had done this hike before, at a time when there was much more water, and the dam was actually swimmable. See the picture. The climb up to the top of the mountain was formidable. 90 meters we had to overcome. And then down again. Lunch break was at the bottom. We were very much amused by the sculptures displayed along the route, and also at the farmyard. Somebody is an artist around here. Also, the old farm machinery was of interest, at least to me. What was it? How did it work? In Koko, a 2-day rucksack hike near Newcastle in Natal. Friday night we slept in the backpackers in Newcastle, and Saturday morning went off early to get to the start of the hike at Dunblane Estate, some 20 kilometers from Newcastle. Initially it was up and up. we had to climb 370 meters. Near the top, we were given a choice by our guide Johannes. Following the contour pass with its ups and downs over rough terrain, but possibly more interesting, or to the top of the plateau now and meandering along to the overnight hut. We unanimously selected the easy route, that is up and over. It was a pleasant hike from here. We had company, cows and horses. At one point we were rushed by a herd of cows who obviously thought that we are bringing the food. At the lunch stop, that was at the banks of some river, our guide announced that we have about 1.5 hours to go. So we took our time over lunch. We were passing some well-decorated huts and some old farm buildings. Not sure how old these buildings were. I guess they go back to the early 20th century. And look at this quaint single-room cottage. At camp, we had to first get everything out of storage. Because of the theft problem, everything has to be locked up securely, including the light bulbs. The weather had turned to rain the next morning. Our route took us through the forest, along a stream, and sometime over very rocky terrain. One of the ups is normally secured by a chain, but that has been stolen. Climbing up the slippery rocks was somewhat adventurous. Closer to the top, we were getting out of the forest, into grassland again, and then the mist came in. Visibility down to a few meters. We were happy to have our guide Johannes along. He led us well, without making a mistake. Walking in the mist was fun. And then there was the long steep down, which took its toll on my knees. But I survived, and can thus tell the tale. First thing that happened to us was that we got upgraded. The accommodation at Mussomani has changed, and they now have a lodge with a less luxurious hikers section at the back. Since the lodge had no guests, we were directed to stay there in the lodge. We have done this hike before, but it was as wonderful as ever. The erosion patterns in the gorge are fantastic. I could not get enough of them. And then, all along the cliff, its best known geological feature, the eyeball sockets. See the picture. On the way back, we gave the Brandwach mountain a miss and walked past it. Franz and I did that on Sunday. Just a quick climb up, checked on the unexplained geological formations and observation post going back to the Boer War. Brit or Boer, I'm not sure. Sunday morning, we tried out the treasure hunt and didn't find any treasure. My GPS, for some reason, gave us the run around. The main item on the agenda for Sunday was actually the visit to the cheese factory on the way out. The place makes cheese from goats and sheep's milk. Roykrans, north of Witbank, near the Loskop Dam. Previously, we did this hike, most like about 10 years ago. The name it got from the red-colored rocks shown on the title image. The Saturday hike was about 10 kilometers and went through the valley of an extremely dry riverbed. No water to be seen anywhere. When we tackled the uphill of about 300 meters, we were overtaken by another hiking group of some locals. This was very welcome, because it gave us a chance to pick up their litter carelessly thrown onto the path. Of course, nobody dared say anything about it, or even complain to them. Along the top, it went easy, and a downhill took us past the red cliffs, Roykrans. On Sunday morning, some of us took it easy and just killed a few kilometers around camp. An interesting sight was the leopard kill hung up in a tree. From our group, it was only Franz and me doing this 4-day hike in the Richtersveld. I have prepared an AV on this hike, which is available on YouTube. No need to repeat the story here. Thus, just a few pictures. The farm is a game farm with a lodge and a wedding venue. We made our way from the lodge down to the Krom-Ellenburg River. Walking was easy and pleasant. It was noted that we were hiking in rhino territory, but they had been moved. Further on, following the banks of the Waal, we came to the wedding venue to have lunch in comfort and style. To get back to the lodge was easy and quick. That is because we were collected by the ranger in a vehicle. Walking would have been a bit dangerous because they keep buffalo in the area we had to cross. This was actually only a day hike, so we took it easy, taking the Saturday to make our way down to Witzieshoek, stopping in Reitz for tea, stopping at the wind pump that has pumped too much, and stopping in Kestel to visit the church, the hotel, and Johann Ramage at the Retief Buchwinkel. At the Witzieshoek Hotel, we were upgraded to the lodge at no cost and went up a small mountain just for exercise to get the legs going, and actually saw some wildlife up there, grey reebok, I think. Dinner we had in the hotel, as well as breakfast. A relatively early start was made and we set off from the Sentinel car park at about 8:30, and up we went. As usual, the first climb at the zigzag made me slow down, and just above it, Jörg was attacked by baboons, rolling down rocks. No harm was caused. And then the ladder. No problem. Up we went and forward to the top of the Tugela Falls. We didn't linger too long and back down, stopping for lunch at the Sentinel Cave, a cave that brought back many memories, having stayed there numerous times. And that was it. This is why it is called the Rapids Trail. Well done, France, finding this hike for us. We only had 5 participants. The place is near Belfast in the Eastern Transvaal. Arriving there, we got upgraded, the 3rd time this year that this has happened, to the lodge. The hike on Saturday was going to be 10 kilometers, and off we went. Initially up over undulating veld, with a stop at what we later found out had been a gold mine. We left the pass at a place where we could see the river, and had the desire to be down there next to the river for lunch. We had a lovely walk along the bank of the river and stopped at the rapids, where we found a ruined hiking hut. This used to be a popular trail. Excitement when we came to the top of the waterfall. Tons of water going down. We were in luck. Not so long ago, the flow was down to a trickle. That is what the manager told us. On Sunday, we did the yellow route, which was into the gorge, up to the bottom of the waterfall, and back again, the way we came. It was exciting to hike through the narrow gorge, surrounded by high rocks. This hike will certainly see me again.